Okay, I've got enough questions now about this topic. We have to address it. Because people ask me, they say, well, if I'm in a relationship or if I'm married or have a girlfriend, like, is it okay to still lust? If I'm in a committed relationship, or can I still have sex in release if I'm doing it with my partner? Like, does that count as a relapse? Man, there's no rules to this. You're going to discover that sooner or later your own self, but it's good the quicker you can discover that, so that it reduces the amount of brain damage that you're doing to yourself. You can't control this process. This isn't a logical decision that you're making. Like, if I make a logical decision, pick this water up. Oh, I picked the water up. You can't do that with this. You can't just turn off lust. If you have lust when you're in a relationship, then have lust while you're in a relationship. If you feel like to release when you're having sex with a partner, then do it. Try not to do it. Yeah, this is better. Try not to do it then. And then watch, you're going to do it anyway. Okay, keep doing that. And then you're going to realize, oh yeah, I can't do this. The truth is paradoxical. So you realize you can't do it, but at the same time, your conscience wants you to maybe improve a little bit though. Maybe you don't want to release with your girlfriend every time you have sex, especially if you're doing it often, because you'll start to lose energy. But that's common sense. You'll just feel it. Whoa, I'm losing energy. Doesn't matter if it's with my girlfriend or not. It doesn't matter if I love her or not. If I keep releasing with her, I'm losing energy. I don't want to stop losing energy. Okay, let me ask somebody, how often should I do it to not lose energy? If the person's authentic that you're asking, they're going to say, you let me know. Because this person, maybe they can do it once a week and not suffer. Another person, maybe once a month. Maybe another person every 2 weeks. It also depends on the duration. It depends on your lifestyle habits, how much stress you have. It depends how sensitive your nervous system is. It depends on so many factors, man. Everybody's unique. There's no standard. The same with diet, the same with exercise program, the same with spiritual practice or religion. Everybody's different. Your particular unique way has already been downloaded in your blueprint. You just need to let that get unfolded to you so you can see what's what. So you be patient, you let it unfold. In the meantime, you preserve your energy as best as you can without making yourself crazy. Because the bottom line is, you can't follow some strict dogmatic rule. It doesn't matter who's telling you. If I'm telling you, if Jesus is telling you, the Bible's telling you, if your father or mentor is telling you, it doesn't matter. You're going to do what you're going to do. You just can't help it. So you do what you do. And at the same time, you try to improve and try to transcend. And don't beat yourself up when you fall short. So I wrote some notes here. All right. There's different stages. See, at first, we all go through this. I did too. Lust is exciting. Edging's exciting. Flirting's exciting. Getting validation from the girl is exciting. Seeing how I can please her, that's exciting. Like I get a well, I'm a man. You get a dopamine hit from that. Okay, that's that stage. Now, physical age doesn't really matter here, because I've seen people, man, their whole life. 70s. I know people personally like this. They're in their 70s and they still get off from that. I'm like asking my friend, how can you keep, like, don't the drug wear out at a certain point? Aren't you bored? For some, no. Then we could get into lifetime, previous lives. Maybe you've already done this and this is why you burn out quicker this life. Okay, we get more into that on my spiritual channel. This is more about lust channel. We don't want to get too deep. So it gets boring after a while. That's next stage. It just gets repetitive. But yet the compulsion's still there to do it, because power of habit. I share this with some people I do sessions with when we talk about, like, the massage parlor, for example. I used to, and I did this more in Asia. In America, it's so easy to be celibate. It just always was for me. Remember, I said that when I was in Hollywood. I was like 20, being an actor. all the beautiful girls are in Hollywood, and it's just so boring. Man, I went to Brazil, to this little village. I was done. What a breath of fresh air, man. Go do that if you need to. If you're starving for female energy and you have the money, leave and go to some little village somewhere in South America or Asia. Don't go to a Western country. They're pretty much all the same as far as the mind, too much mind, too calculated, you know. Go to these little villages and experience what a real, just natural, innocent type femininity is. Not that they don't exist in America. You know, girls watch these videos too, and they do, but I'm just saying in a village, it's just a whole different way of life. So I needed that. It was a breath of fresh air. It really helped me. It also made me crazy because I was just like, whoa. Yeah, I just couldn't get enough, man. But I needed that. So we went off a little bit, didn't we? We're talking about stages. First stage was, you're just a total just dopamine junkie addict. And then the next stage, all this stuff gets boring. And then, right, I was talking to the people that I explained sometime when we do a session about the massage parlor stages. So I was in Asia, and man, a couple of these girls I really liked. I was late 20s. I just liked them. I was like, you're more innocent. I told my friend, I said, the prostitutes are more innocent here than the virgins are in the West. I said something like that. Not to be taken totally literal, but I'm pointing to something, you know. And so I would go, we'd do our thing. I'd give them a little money, you know. And then the next stage was, I only wanted to do it if they didn't charge me, because then I was like, oh, they like me. I've shared this before here and there, but it fits this title. Oh, God, they like me. Like, yeah, I'm a man. Like, they really want this. Then I realized, no, man, they're using me like a dill rod. That's all. They don't really like me. And it's like, what? They're really, they see my depth and they really like that and they're merging with that. No, they're just looking to get off. Same as me. So then that burned through. So then I'd go to the massage and wouldn't do anything. I just lay, you know, I'd be naked and they you know, I just dopamine hit. Then the next stage is I would drive by these massage places, but I wouldn't go in. I would just feel the dopamine from them saying, oh, come in. Yeah. Right? And then that got stupid. And then the next stage was I would go to a professional massage person who I knew nothing would happen just because I wanted the female touch. Now, some may say, bro, why don't you just get a girlfriend? Because I don't want a girlfriend. I didn't want a girlfriend. Why am I going to set up a girl? That's worse karma than what I'm doing, what I was doing. No, you're still doing it. I would if I wanted to. I seriously would, man. I don't care. I don't live by some strict dogmatic moral compass. Like, I don't. Things that I've transcended, I've done organically. And this is what I'm trying to share with people. This is the best way. That way you don't have to renounce anything. It's not stress. You're not suppressing. Oh yeah, we have to get into the suppression stage too. It just happens organically. It comes natural as a result of having sufficient experience, doing introspection, seeing the ridiculousness of it, and then you just automatically don't want to do it anymore. You just can't do it. So that was the last stage. I'd go to the professional and I would just get the touch. And then after that, I don't know, didn't do it anymore. I don't know. Then I would look for the couple of hits of validation when I'm out on the street or somewhere. Oh, she looked at me, oh, yeah. I did that for a while. You see the subtlety? It keeps getting more and more subtle. So that's the progression. You can't just, what are you gonna turn all that off at once? I couldn't do it. If you can do it, right on, man. But I don't think you can. I don't think anybody can. It has to happen in a natural way. So those are the stages for that. Yeah, don't fake the transcendence. A lot of people do that too. They imagine they transcended it. or they start they get into this suppression, or they're I'm not going to do it no matter what. I'm not going to do it. Man, that creates, it's a delicate balance here. It's paradoxical. I'm not saying don't put any effort at all. Of course, you have to use some will to transcend these things. Yeah, it requires our cooperation, but don't make yourself mad doing it. And you won't anyway. There's some safety switch in place. Like if the pressure gets intense enough, you're gonna go relapse. Yeah, that's there for your own good, so you don't go mad. So understand that process and work with it. Don't try to be at a level you're not, man. Be where you're at. Don't compare yourself to people who you hear on YouTube. You don't know where they're at. Have you realized yet a lot of human beings lie, or they exaggerate the truth, especially if they already have an image that they're portraying and making money from? You think they're going to come out and say, yeah, I relapse. No, they're not going to tell you. So don't trust anybody. You just do you. That's what you do. You do you, and you listen to videos and read books. Have a good semen retention book. It's on my website. Real deal stuff, my sharing experience, just like the videos. And you do you, and you be real, and let the process happen organically, naturally, like it is. Don't compare yourself to other people. You don't know what they're doing. At some point, this excitement, I talk to my friend about this a lot. It's different. This whole life, man, it's like the main addiction is addicted to experiencing things, addicted to excitement, and, but the lust is a huge vehicle of excitement. At some point, that starts to just kind of wear out. It's like I was saying at the beginning of the video. How can somebody be 70 and 80 and it didn't wear out yet? It gets boring, man. You just see through it. You see how the whole thing works. You get excited, and then you have it's more the anticipation. That gave me the most hit. When it came down to the actual experience and act, it wasn't such a big deal. It was the anticipation and the fantasy of it. So through repetition, at some point you see that whole game before you even get ready to do it. You'll have the tendency to do it because of the power of habit, and you're just compelled. That's the way it works. But there's some self-restraint that takes place now. You'll say, wait, and you'll play the tape through. Okay, I'm gonna pursue her, and then she's gonna act like she likes me, and I'm gonna act like I like her, and we're both actors, and then we'll do the act, and then pretend afterwards, oh, nice, it was so nice, and then leave, and then I'll be like, why the hell did I do that? Yeah, you see all that first, and then you don't do it. That's called transcendence. That's called progression. You outgrow these things automatically because of law of evolution. You being honest and authentic of where you're at, that matters so much more than some false projected image that you're portraying to others or to yourself or whatever. You be where you're at. Doesn't matter, nobody else is being where they're at. Everybody's pretending. They walk out of the house and they put their actor suit on, and then they start pretending. Yeah. They either pretend like to be hardcore, flex gains, or they pretend to Mac, I'm so sweet and soft, and so, just whatever, image. If you lived on some island somewhere by yourself and there wasn't nobody around, you know how much different you'd act? You wouldn't, all this looks maxing nonsense, that would be gone. Why does that exist? Because we care so much about what others think. Why do we care so much about what others think? Because we have no connection to the source. So there's no real stability. Go see my Spiritual Renaissance channel for that. But we have to kind of be bewildered and confused for a while before connecting with the source becomes important. Because if the dopamine worked forever, we'd just do that forever. Why not? I would have. But it stops working after a while. So I'm talking to those who it stopped working. And I'm trying to explain the process, that it's a process. Because no need to give yourself extra stress and brain damage over why don't I have the willpower to stop it? Because you're not supposed to. That's not how the process works. Part of the deal is you try and you struggle and you relapse and you fall down and fail, and then you get back up and you start to succeed, then maybe you get hit again and down. That's the process. So understand that's the process. So don't be surprised by it. That's just how it works. Be where you're at. Enjoy. If you like lust now, go enjoy lust. Like, who cares, man? Why would you get upset if a video is talking about intruders, transcending lust? Why would you get upset about if somebody's talking about transcending lust if you don't want to transcend lust? Why? people get upset that they start trying to make fun of me, like, and say stupid things because they're offended because I'm talking about transcending lust. I'm like, if you don't want to transcend lust, why are you gonna watch a video? Why would you even care? Why would you care what somebody said if that's not the stage you're in? You know why they care? I'll answer it. Because something in them knows they should transcend the lust. But they don't want to admit that. They want to cover that up and keep that buried and instead project their insecurity onto me. Why are you making, that's what they should say. Why are you making me like look at myself? Dumbass. That would be better. I'd be like, right on. That's honesty. So there's a lot of people like that. That's why I say don't talk. Don't tell people what you're doing, man. Tell people who like are doing the same thing, but otherwise don't tell anybody. You're just asking for more confusion and misunderstanding and more stress. You do you, and that's what you do. All right, I'm out. See you.